Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So time to have a look at Ultimate Sharen for the new Supermassive Receptor dungeon. Now Sharen has always been an interesting Descendant right from the start. If you are an OG player, most of us in the early days were standing outside an outpost trying to farm the materials, amorphous materials for different guns and Descendants, and without Sharen most of it would not have been possible because of course she is the only stealth-based Descendant. Well, technically Haley has a mod now, but she's still the main stealth Descendant. Sharen is also special for me because I made a couple of videos for Sharen for the duration of the outpost to stay invisible, and those were the first videos that did well on my channel and the reason why I continued making first Descendant content. So I have always had a soft spot for Sharen. And this video is also going to be a little different from the other videos, build videos, because I'm going to use an Ancestors module. And I'm also not going to use the Deus Ex Manus against the Flores boss. Because Sharen is so good, you can actually just use his skills and take out all the enemies in a reasonable amount of time. So yeah, so let's quickly go over the build because it is very similar to the previous stuff. And then I'll show you the adjustments for the Ancestors module. So this is the build for Sharen, the main build, and this is exactly the same as the last time I made a video for Sharen. So we are using area suppression, transcendent mode, we are using skill insights, skill concentration, emergency measures, front lines, one range mode, focus on electric, focus on fusion, MP conversion, nimble fingers, and basically very simple build. Now the trigger module is the storm bullet. I managed to get a really good one here. So this actually makes a big difference to Sharen. If you can get a good spawn rate, I have the maximum 45%, and the continuous damage is also excellent. Now with all of this, what we have is a 67.94 crit rate and a 5.217 crit damage. I'll show you the Arche Tuning as well. Now what happens with Sharen is if you use the blue Beetle, if you have the blue Beetle equipped and you use a fusion skill, which is let's say the 4th skill or the 1st skill, you get an increase to your crit rate, making it about 91%, which is pretty good. And she does a lot of damage with the crit. Now with the Arche Tuning, we've also tried to get as much crit rate and crit damage in here. I'm currently using the electric chain catalyst. I've tried to test a few of the newer ones as well, but this does well. It basically reduces the enemy's resistance to electric and so helps taking them down much more easily. We are taking the cooldown, we're taking the cost and the MP reduction as well. I'm sacrificing this because I kind of don't need more range and I don't need the Colossus, so I'm skipping this one, but I'm taking these two to make my life easier. I'll explain why with the Ancestors module later on. Now the reactor is Tingling Mixture Reactor, cooldown and crit damage. That is what you need for Sharen. 4 pieces of the Dimension Destroyer. So basically what we get here is a lot of HP and defense, reasonable amount, and you get breach formation, 1 stack per minute, and every 10 stacks it causes those purple things from the wall crasher that fall, and they do a decent amount of damage. So this just makes it more interesting and fun. The blue Beetle, you don't really need to do anything. I have put sprint cores on it, and as a result you'll run fast, you'll hit the 1440 threshold speed, and you don't need to build the gun, just hold it with 2 sprint speed cores. Now let's talk about the adjustment. I'll actually talk about the inversion as well while we're here. So I'm taking the neural focus augmentation so that we don't run out of MP. We have the enhanced cardio, and we have the deploy hardened shell. So basically just giving her more survivability. Reason for that is I'm going to drop this HP mod because we have 18,000, but we need to adjust the Ancestors mod. So let me just spend some time talking about the Ancestors mods. So I've managed to get 3 good Ancestors mods. Well, 2 of them were very good. Third one I kept re-rolling, and I've done it 4 times. So I personally believe re-rolling beyond 4 times is a waste of resources. If you don't get anything good by the 4th roll, I think just discard it is better. Anyway, so what we have here is this one here. This has fusion skill power boost ratio, really good crit damage, also gives a decent amount of range, but at the expense of cooldown, and it's only 4%, but in my testing it was noticeable and it was bothering me. This one here increases the crit rate by a significant amount, and max HP goes up a little bit. Dimension skill power boost ratio increases, which is not useful. Duration goes down, but duration going down doesn't bother us. And then this one here, we have a transcendent level skill critical hit damage. Once again, we have dimension power increase, which isn't very useful. Max shield goes up, skill cost goes down. I mean, skill cost is increased. So again, if you manage it, if you saw the Arche Tuning, I was using both MP and skill cost reduction. And if you keep an eye on the MP ops, you should be okay. So how do we adjust one of these mods here into our build? The obvious choice for me was to drop the HP. Now, if I drop the HP and I put this one here, first let me show you the numbers again. So 5.217 crit damage. If I put this here, now I get 7.677 crit damage, and we will be getting the 91. So this one seemed to be the ideal one. We do end up with a bit less HP, but we do gain some shields. So we are at about 1500 shields and about 10,000 HP, which is fine because Sharen can go invisible a lot. So this works out, and the cost issue is not a problem. Now this one here, on paper in terms of damage, this is the best one. However, that 4% cooldown increase, that is actually hurting me. When I tried and played that, it was making it uncomfortable because you were sort of not invisible and exposed to the enemies for longer. So basically, if you see here, we have a 2.6 second cooldown. Okay. If I put this one here, this goes up to 3.4. So that 0.8 second difference, this was actually hurting me quite a bit, even though this is the most powerful setup. We have crit damage, we have fusion power, and we are also getting range. In fact, the range is so good, we can actually drop our expansion mod and maybe put HP or something. So this is on paper really good. And if it wasn't for the Supermassive, I would have used this one. And then we have this one here, the middle one. So this one has a lot of crit rate. This has so much crit rate that if I use this one, I don't need to hold the blue beetle. So it gives me the 100% crit rate. We have 91, it gives me 100%, but it doesn't increase the damage. And at 91%, we are more or less critting all the time. So while it seems really good, it wasn't really making much of a difference. So I've settled with this one simply because of the massive amount of crit damage we are gaining from this here. So yeah, so this is my Sharen setup here. A little low on the HP, but if you stay invisible frequently, you will be fine because again, we have a low cooldown of 2.6 seconds. And so this is the build I have. Now, this is really good, and I can take Flores out with the skills as well. I'll leave you with the footage, obviously. But in order to make Sharen really strong, you do need a very good storm bullet. This one here will help you. You get a lot more crit damage. So basically, if you are re-rolling your Assassin's Resolution Ancestor module for Sharen, target crit damage increase and fusion power increase, fusion power boost ratio. Because you don't get, so if you see the fusion skill power boost ratio and the crit damage, if you get those two things, you are set. If you can get them really high numbers there, that will make Sharen very, very strong. So those are the two options that you need to target. So again, if you find these, re-roll them 3-4 times. If you don't get it, discard it. But if you can land fusion and crit damage, you are set. So yeah, so that is the Sharen build. Wanted to add some ancestor modules discussion as well. I've made a separate video for the ancestors, but I wanted to change the video. So I'll leave you with the footage of the Supermassive Receptor dungeon with this build. And so I'll also take out the Flores without using the Manus, because again, kind of boring and some people may not have the Manus. So yeah, Sharen is a really good option if you don't have Manus and if you just want to clear that dungeon with skills only. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time.
You won't find me. I see. Down. Entering stealth mode. Initiating stealth operation. Activating stealth. You won't find me. Unseen. Initiating stealth operation. Entering stealth state. Unseen. Activating stealth. Entering stealth state. Activating stealth. Entering stealth state. Unseen. Initiating stealth operation. Unseen. Activating stealth. Entering stealth state. Activating stealth. You won't find me. Initiating stealth operation. Unseen. Activating stealth. You won't find me. Activating stealth. Entering stealth state. Initiating stealth operation. Activating stealth. Entering stealth state. Initiating stealth operation. You won't find me. Activating stealth. You won't find me. Activating stealth. Initiating stealth operation. You won't find me. Activating stealth. Entering stealth state. Initiating stealth operation. Entering stealth state. Initiating stealth operation. Entering stealth state. You won't find me. Oh, damn. Unseen. Activating stealth. Unseen. Entering stealth state. Unseen. You won't find me. Entering stealth state. You won't find me. Unseen. You won't find me. Entering stealth state. Activating stealth. Entering stealth state. Unseen. Activating stealth. Initiating stealth operation. You won't find me. Unseen. Activating stealth. You won't find me. Initiating stealth operation. Activating stealth. Initiating stealth operation. Unseen. Entering stealth state. That's laughable. Unseen. Initiating stealth operation. Activating stealth. You won't find me. Initiating stealth operation. Activating stealth. Initiating stealth operation.